What's up, guys? Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with Fooser. Cast levels of 24. Alright. So we have 3, 8, 3, 8, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20. So I feel like it might be better if you if you take away one of these bone puppeteers and have something spotting for your group, because if you noticed, I actually just chunked down the biggest part of your group, which is your Cyclops. I just chunked him down with a headshot, and almost everybody's going to be able to do that, regardless of level. Like, yeah, I'm level 30, so I will one-shot that. Maybe someone will, like, 2 to 3-shot that, but even with a headshot, they're going to chunk him down at least half-life. And I feel like a spotter for him, and putting him back out of, like, the way of danger, at least to start off with, would probably be better than having the multiple bone puppeteers. You could even get rid of 2 of them, to be honest, and throw in something completely different. Like, you could get rid of 2, and then you have that one spotter out there, and then you'd have, 5 points more to work with. You could throw in, a Stairmaster or anything like that you wanted to. I kind of like this. Like, it's not, like, if you look at it, and you look at the minions and how they're positioned, it's not good. But the fact that this wall was kind of in my way, and I saw the Defendatron, and I was like, oh, a free Defendatron, let me just kill it. And I barely was able to notice that the Zeke was lining up the shot, because, his silhouette starts to show up as soon as you aggro him. If I hadn't noticed that, I could have probably died there, at least as a lower level person. I might not have, being level 30, but if I was your level, I would most likely have died to that. So that's kind of good, I would say. But I'm not sure if you could do anything different to maybe put, any other unit here and have the Defendatron actually linked to the Zeke. Because having a Defendatron out there, that's 5 points that you're using just to kind of draw the shot and hope that that works. I'm wondering if, like, a puppeteer or something, someone might react the same way to a puppeteer rather than your Defendatron there. Alright, so this one's a pretty fine group. I would say... Yeah, I mean, the Hungerbot on Hook does combo pretty well, kind of with the Cyclops, but then if you put it on Pinstrike, it would combo better with the Stairmaster and the Archer, so it's kind of up to you which one you think is a little bit better. I'm not sure exactly which one would work out better. This is a pretty standard group, but I would say that you have, you have 19 points here. Why not use the extra 1 point to put like a Snotter right in here or something, so that I can't just round the corner and figure out what's coming at me and then headshot. Or as a knight, I could use Lashing Flames, smite, and then punt him away, and just repeat that process until he's dead. Like, keeping things hidden from the attacker is one of those things that you have to do to be able to actually deal damage to them. Because if I can, formulate a plan on exactly how to engage a group without taking any damage, generally I'm going to be able to do that, like, relatively easily. So the longer you can hide what's coming, the better. Alright, this group is fine. I mean, this one here, like, 2 bad dogs isn't going to make him attack actually any faster. Although the buff will only apply once. As you will see, there's the buff up there. And yes, if I attack it once more, it's not going to give him 2 buffs, it's just going to redo the same buff that I already gave him. So it's kind of worthless to have 2 bad dogs here. You definitely want to switch that out for probably a puppeteer, and then on top of that, you probably want to move the derps farther down here, so that I'm like rounding the corner and I can't quite make a shot to the Cyclops or something like that. Because if I end up headshotting the Cyclops and crit high enough to be able to one-shot him, the rest of your group is only 2 bad dogs and a couple of derps. That's not going to do any damage to me whatsoever. This one's kind of just a time waster. I think it's okay. Puppeteers do heal less on Robo-Shieldatrons and Defendatrons than any other unit, so it's not like the most ideal group, but I mean, for a time waster, I guess it works. I'm not sure what specialization this guy was on. He wasn't linked to one of the puppeteers, so I have to assume he was on AoE, because the other one wouldn't really make sense. Alright, this one, what do we have? It looks like probably a puppeteer behind the General Clunkenstein. Let me just take a look. Or is that a chicken? Okay, so you have this chicken here, and he's the one being defended rather than the General Clunkenstein, which I actually think either of those, the chicken and the General Clunkenstein, are a mistake. I think he should be, your Defendatron should be linked to a puppeteer here, I think. Because even though I killed that guy pretty quickly, most people won't, and the problem with defending the Elite himself is he'll a lot of times do his like little leap charge thing, and that will delink him regardless. So it's better to keep it on the support there, I think. And just hope that he gets a couple heals off to increase the sustained damage of your Elite there. Alright, and then for the boss room, Dr. Skull is good. Scorpio is okay. I don't know, the Scorpio with this thing on it, like, that's not going to do all that much for you, even if you get that off. Actually, the Scorpio is on Pinstrike anyway. So because the Scorpio is on Pinstrike, this springboard trap needs to go. Like no one's going to just step on this randomly in the middle of the floor. At least no one that knows what this is. So at this present time, you should get rid of this springboard trap. Add in some sort of a damage dealing trap. Probably a ballista back here would be good as well. If you can fit in 2 traps, but even moving this one down is fine. And putting a ballista somewhere back in here in case they, you know, get... I guess ballistas in both spots wouldn't be bad. Or you could use, what are they called? Rotating cannon traps or anything like that. Whereas if I get hit by this and get stunned, I'll take the extra trap damage from that. Other than that, I think the group is okay. Stairmasters are alright in this room. The Dr. Skull doesn't really work well with the other units, because there's not a lot of low stuff for him to be resurrecting. You might have him on heal though, I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't paying attention, but it's okay. You could also consider adding on a Defendatron on the Dr. Skull as well, if you think him being alive would add a little bit more to the effectiveness of the group. But yeah, we will jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, for number 2 we have Paraiso, castle levels of 28. Jump into it here on my archer.
Is this what passes for a castle these days?
Alright, so this is an interesting group, because my instinct is to just volley on all of it, which works okay, but then these 3 vamps will escape. But I still think it's probably the correct play to do, because I can just auto-attack and it kills almost all of them. If they were my level, at level 32 or 30 or whatever they go up to, they would probably survive 1 or 2 auto-attacks. It's not a terrible group, but I do think it should be spread out a little bit more. Your Stairmaster could be farther back, your Explodifier could be farther back, and maybe even one of the vamps could be farther forward and the other 2 spread out, like so that I can't do that volley play as easily. This one's pretty good. I like this group. I like the dampener, and I like the heals as well. The heals actually made it so he survived an extra round of attacks, and even being that low level and having that heal on there, it'll work even better for people around your level. And then also the dampener helps it so that if I get silenced and I try to spam roll, I might get hit by both of these Cyclopses at the same time, which will do something like, you know, 1600 damage or whatever at your level, which is pretty good. This one's similar, although it didn't work out quite as well. I guess maybe the dampener is crucial, I'm not 100% sure. But it's a similar group regardless. And again, this one as well. So I think you're definitely borderlining way too many of the same group, because it makes it a lot easier for me to deal with. When I know, you know, once you deal with it once, you kind of keep getting better and better at doing it. It's like the same general thing that you have to do. Alright, and then we've got a turn here, looks like up here. So some vamps here. This one I like a lot better because you could see I aggroed it and I wasn't really able to do the volley the way I wanted to do it. So now you have, you know, a bunch of stuff still alive that's dealing damage to me, and I'm actually running into a little bit of trouble here trying to deal with it. So that's pretty good. I would say if I did recognize that there was a vamp here and I volleyed before I got into the room, I think I still could have been able to hit at least 4 of these creatures and probably killed most of them. So you might want to spread out the back part of that a little bit more. Same as this one. Although I do realize you want to get the bad dog's attack speed buff, and I'm even gonna have to potion here because this could be a little bit scary. Like, it's not a bad group. I understand that you want to get the bad dog buff on there, so that's why you keep it all close together, so that when someone does volley, they get it enraged. To be honest, I think the best thing I could have done there would have been to auto-attack them once and then volley on myself, and wait for the vamps to come to me. That's probably the best thing that I could have done there. So I don't think it's that bad. I don't think you really need to spread out that group any more than you already have. Alright, more Cyclopses. That's fine, although I think 2 is about the maximum number I would go up to. Because there's just, when you add in a third, there's just too much chance that one of them pushes you away from the other two, so you don't take as much damage as you necessarily should. Alright, so this is the same thing as before. I'm going to headshot down this hallway, and then I'm going to volley on myself. And yeah, that works a lot better, as you can see. I actually wanted that to go on the Cyclops. This one's a pretty good group. I'm taking quite a bit of damage. There's a lot I have to worry about that's coming at me all at the same time. I think these rooms also are kind of easy because you can see very far. You know, there's no walls to obscure your vision or anything. These like straightforward rooms like this. It's walls generally that make people take extra shots and stuff because they can't see what's coming. Like, I do like that the Zeke was off to the side and you can't really see him right away. If you're turned the wrong way like I was here, it's possible that he can shoot you kind of under the skill bar, which is where you have less vision. So that's pretty good. I think same thing here is I'm going to do that and then volley it. Alright. Just Cyclops right there. I think I can headshot him from here. So here you have another 3 Cyclopses. I kind of already said what I think about having 3 of them. I think 2 is fine, but 3 is a little overboard. You definitely like your Cyclopses though, I would say that. I think your Dampener is a little slow here. He could come out a little bit earlier and get his silence off. Because as you kind of saw, that the fight was almost already over by the time I was able to he actually silenced me. That's what I meant. Like right there, you could see that I kind of wanted the headshot right there, or even anything. I could have rolled or whatever, and I got silenced right around that same time. And that's kind of what you want to go for. Like, this silence timing was good. Alright, and then the boss room. Okay, I've actually only seen this boss a couple of times. I don't think he's very good. But I actually don't know what he does. But, I mean, that's why I don't know what he does, is because he just dies really quickly. I don't know, he's definitely not my favorite boss. I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen him all that much, but it's fine. I mean, I don't really say much about pre-made bosses, because I'm sure they're going to get some balancing done, hopefully, in the next couple of months, but... that's number 2, so we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, and lastly we have SirRaith. Castle level is a 19, so I'll jump into it on my knight.
Hey Castle, you are so not ready.
Alright, so we start off with a Time Waster group, which I think if you're going to use a Time Waster group, it's probably smart to use it at the first group in your castle, because if it does drop a health globe, I'm already kind of full life, so it really doesn't matter. But I mean, the game is getting away from, you know, time-wasting stuff and abusing the timer or anything like that. Although it does help you lose less loot, I think the game is just generally getting away from that point. Alright, so we have this Dr. Skull here. If I could, I kind of want to meet him in the middle of the map here. There's actually 2 Dr. Skulls. This is kind of scary now. But as long as I don't kill anything but the Dr. Skulls, I should be fine. Maybe. Not really. He's actually... Are they actually on... No, there's a puppeteer in here as well that's enraging them all, I think. Yeah, there is right there. This is a pretty good combo. Like, this is a lot of damage. I don't want to go near this. If I can help it. Although I did double pull, so... It was kind of accidental because I wanted to get closer to the Dr. Skulls. So that I was going to be able to stop them from resurrecting stuff back farther. Alright, now I can just kill it all though. Which, once you're able to just kind of go after these skeletons, it's not that difficult to take out. Still does quite a bit of damage when they're all enraged though. But not too bad. I like Dr. Skulls though, I think they're really cool units. I'm glad that they're kind of more balanced than they used to be. With the health buff and the damage buff. They can actually be used kind of decently. So I've kind of talked about these low-level Stairmasters on this specialization, and I don't really think that they're all that great. Although having them on Enrage, they are hitting me pretty quickly. Which is one good thing about it. But I just don't think they do enough damage to justify their cost at the moment. On this specialization, I think on Teleport they're okay, but on Ominous Orb, I just don't think that they're that great. This is a good one. I was trying to stay on that side where you had that little path there, but with all of the archers, it's kind of impossible. So it made me take extra trap damage that I didn't want to take. And now I'm just fighting on a trap, which is just silly. Alright, I don't care about these guys. I'm just going to kind of use them to heal up a little bit. There we go. Alright, this should be a pull. We have another Dr. Skull. Again, I want to meet it head-on, but I can't really do that, so I'm going to wait over here and hope that I can lure him away from those guys over that way. He has to make line of sight, so if I can just kind of get him to this point, and then I missed my Lashing Flames, which is really bad. But I managed to kill it not too badly. That's just because there's no Defendatron on him. I think Defendatrons are really good on him. Like, as long as I don't double pull like I did last time, Dr. Skull isn't too bad by himself. So a lot of people use Defendatrons on him and then try to set up corpses beforehand, which can work or can backfire pretty badly. Because if you recognize that it's coming, like the previous group, and pull that group back, like say I have one group of derps, or, you know, snotters or whatever, and then I have a secondary pull that's supposed to lead the Defendatron, or not the Defendatron, the Dr. Skull and the Defendatron to those corpses that I had. If you recognize that and you can pull them back one room or so, and then kill off the Dr. Skull by himself, he's not nearly as hard. So this is, you know, like I said, Stairmasters aren't that good on this specialization, but IMAXs are. They still do decent damage. Like 100 damage per tick is pretty good at your level. Which is also my level, and you can see I'm having some trouble with him. I used one potion and I'm already half life, so... Alright. Some more Stairmasters. Kind of abused the corner here, and that's the problem with using spike traps sometimes, is they don't quite have the range that ballistas and rotating cannon traps do. So it's hard to make it so that you aren't, you know, abusing, you can't abuse the corners and stuff like that. So this is one where you have the Defendatron on the Dr. Skull. The problem is I'm not making any corpses for you, and that's mainly the issue with having Dr. Skull and the Defendatron, is there's just not enough units that he can actually resurrect. That's why people try to set it up with corpses beforehand, using a group before that, and then trying to pull that Dr. Skull into that room, that same room. All right, and then we have the boss room, which is a enraged Count Nottingham, which is very scary based on just the DPS itself. But I have plenty of potions, so I should be okay. Mittens by himself, like, he's not scary at all. It's only the attack speed buff that he gives, and a lot of the times I just don't think it's worth it, just to have attack speed. I guess because this is a really big boss, it's kind of has its arguments for giving it attack speed. But I mean, I don't know. Would 10 points of other units be just as good as having, you know, an attack speed? Like, a lot of the times I would say just having another of that same unit is better than having a Mittens enraging it. Like, say, a Zeke and a Mittens. It's better to have just 2 Zekes rather than 1 enraged Zeke. So with Count Nottingham, there's arguments there why Mittens would be good, because you can only have 1 of him. But that is number 3, so we're going to end the video here. As always, if you guys enjoyed, please subscribe. If you want to be a part of your requests, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. I try to update my list every week. There's also, you know, a link to a spreadsheet with that list, so you guys can check it out. Usually, when you email me, it'll take a couple of days for me to update it, so don't freak out if you don't get it updated within a day or 2. But that's pretty much it, so thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.